So it's all yours now, Vincent. So first off, thank you everyone for joining, but I don't want to waste any more time. I'm just going to hand it over to Vincent.
Okay. So my name is Vincent, and I'm part of support team, and I'm also a programmer for our file site and EMM for the last 20 years. So today it actually it's a very important day. Actually, we release the products to a company that is the EMM $10 to work for that site. And so, it's all based on the cloud client. So I want to actually share with you, and in these 5 sessions, I'm going to actually share with you all the new features we actually, our team, and put into it. And we use the various debugging products and to actually demo the feature to you, okay? So, let's actually just go to, today I will cover 3 topics. The first one is the reason behind we actually go to the cloud. And the second one, it is actually a new architecture of the EMM, what's actually new in there, and just briefly to explain the features. And the third one, I will use the fiddler that is for the HTTP protocol, because we actually now we all move our product to the cloud. So we all is actually REST API based, so HTTP based. So the best tool is actually use Fiddler. You will know the Fiddler inside out. And I also will cover Wireshark. That is the protocol analyzer to actually beyond HTTP protocol. We actually look at the TCP, UDP, and MP, or or the PIN, or how do you actually do telnet. I will demo all this one to you, and how do you actually do this. Okay, so let's actually get a start. I will briefly cover why we actually go to the cloud. The first one is, why we actually want to go to the cloud. That's the first reason is everybody goes to cloud. Used to be every company actually they very secret their data. They say our data is there. But now, did you actually see? We actually like Microsoft, right? Outlook. We used to have 2 program, exchange elements. Now we don't need it. We actually move to very smoothly because everybody goes to the cloud. Because this first, the first reason is cost saving, right? Because originally we actually have SQL. Every company have one SQL. We actually, if you go to cloud, we only need one, SQL server. We could one SQL server and you just a different database, right? We can cut lots of steps. Each company you have to hire iManage administrator. Now we don't need it. We don't need a DBAs. Second one, the security. Everybody, every company has to do their own security. Originally, people worried about the data is actually given to iManage. But now we actually have a this very strong security in the cloud and all this development. And so what happens is now our iManage security is more stronger than individual companies. So this is another reason. So another reason is if you actually move to the cloud, usually the cloud server uses lots of open sources. If you use our Stratus a code, they all use open source. So in that case, there's lots of savings instead of you actually install it in the individual companies. The last one, there's lots of competition. Like net documents, they actually founded in the 2000. They based on the ground up. There's a cloud, cloud architecture. So we have to compete with them. They actually grab a couple of clients with us, but now we're actually coming back, compete with them because we actually in iManage we have very very deep customer support, and we know what the customer wants, and we actually have very very strong the client. Let's say Outlook or Office integration. They don't have it. So that's the that's briefly why we want to go to cloud. Okay, so. The second one, there is the new EMM. As everybody knows, maybe it is actually the message store provider file site is too complicated, and it's very hard to configure and running into lots of problems. And we have old EMM, but the old EMM we actually purchased from the Phoenix. So we're running into lots of problems, like say, send filer, like inbox filer, send items filer. They actually too many problems. So Mohit actually asked me, I say, why not actually we modify the old EMM? He says, no, we want to actually have a new EMM. It's actually for the next 20 years. Vincent, you have to write it. So I actually write the architecture. Of course, we actually have 3 Vs in our company. We're doing this. And Vincent, Vinod, and Vela, with 3 Vs, actually, Mohit used to call 3VQ. So we actually doing this. So we actually, but I actually, just wrote the foundation of the, for the new EMM. What is actually the new behind it? The first one is it's very fast filing. The reason being, it is actually, I actually have a separate, EMM with 2 layers. The one is the object model layer. But when you actually doing the filing and the suggestions, I doing background. So in the UI layer, I actually doing the, object model. But in the old layer, in the lower layer, multi-threading layer, I use the MAPI, the C++ MAPI, Sergio wrote the, WS MAPI layer to do these sorts of things. The new experience is very, very fast filing, okay? The other one, we actually rewrite the client-side send the file and the inbox file. We encountered numerous problems in the older thing, okay? So we know rewrote, from the WCS, we actually have a new WCS, the client-side WCS, and we actually, I will show you later in later sessions, use the MFC MAPI to show all these kind of features, okay? The first one, it is actually, we have a numerous improvement, like I actually put in there, Vinod and with 3 Vs and put in there, like suggestions and how do we make it faster? How do we actually the logins and all these kind of things? I will explain later. Okay. So now I'm going to actually demo the product. Okay. So in this series, I will cover lots of things. Lots of things like an auto update. How does it work? How does the background filing, inbox file working, and all these kind of things. Okay. So today I'm going to actually use the, first I use the product, and then I will actually use the fiddler and a white shark and to demo the product. Okay. So after you install, okay, I'm going to actually do this. So usually I actually go to there, use file. I'm going to when you actually install the product, it immediately you will notice there's a config directory in the roaming. Okay, in the roaming config directory. So in the config directory, I actually will remove as new. Okay, so let's say I don't have a user thing. Okay, I will demo to you from the startup. Okay, so let me start Outlook. Okay, start Outlook. Okay, it's already, this is called iManage work. Okay, now your first one is when you after login, you actually will see our first login screen. Okay, so when you head to the first login screen, you will see because this one is REST API based, so you will actually see this one. Okay, login screen. You have a drop down. Okay, this one I added. Okay, Harold already knows. So even you don't have to, if you configure it correctly, that is the CN name in the DNS. I put in the canonical name in that is the alias. So you can actually add to your DNS and CN name, and you will say, our company supports 3 servers. Do you see that? So this one, you never actually log in before. You don't know the server. So I actually wrote this feature. So this feature, I put in there. So it is actually iMobility.iManage.work and WTest2 and WTest1. So I just put in there. So now you actually log in. Okay, now if you look at the ribbon bar and you see the connect, there's a red. So the status, there's 3 status there. One is red, which means it actually the server cannot be pinned, okay, and not connected. Now, if I actually log in, okay, you see this connect is disconnected. Now you actually see it's green is connected, which means it is actually you log in to the first. So without you actually typing any server name, we already actually log in, all right? So this is the feature. Now, let's say you want to actually see the behind the scene. How do you actually find out what actually the server calls you make and you do login? Let's say I actually do this one, or I already have this suggestion available. I can do a quick, okay, look at it, quick file. Oh, so this one, it is actually the folder. It is actually, it's not my folder. So, you know, it is actually this one folder. Let me actually change your folder. Okay, change your folder name. I do a quick file. Now, you see, it is actually, you will see the blazing fast. Okay, blazing fast. You actually can, you know, you can actually try yourself. You can actually test it like on the 5, 10. It actually, so all background based. It will not interfere with your like an UI. Okay, but you know, but if I want to actually see what actually behind the scene. Let's say I have a filing very slow. I want to know what actually, why you actually slow. That one, the first tool definitely you want is the fiddler. Okay, I install the fiddler. Okay, I install the fiddler. Okay, I launch fiddler. Okay, so this one, and you will see fiddler is the protocol analyzer, is HTTP protocol analyzer. It only actually analyze the protocol analyzer. So now you will actually when you actually in the left hand, the first thing you want to do when you actually install the fiddler, what you want to do is this. You will not actually see this kind of strings or something like that if you don't actually set that option. That option is the most important thing, because we actually use the SSL, the socket layer security, to encrypt the data. The URL, they're all encrypted. So in order to actually show this one, mine is already turned on. So you want to actually go to the option. There's HTTP option. The first thing you want to decrypt HTTP traffic, okay, and ignore the server certificate. Okay, these two features you have to turn on. Otherwise, you will not actually see the details, because the HTTP protocol, I will explain later, use the Wireshark to analyze this, you know, what actually it means. So after that one, and you actually can see, okay, you can see. Okay, now the thing is, when you actually see this HTTP protocol, we actually have lots of them. Let's say I actually log into iMobility, right? But you actually have Visual Studio, you know, all these kind of sorts of things in there. So what happens is, we want to actually apply what we call apply the filters. Okay, so what happens is you can actually filter this out. Let's say right mouse click. Okay, you can actually filter this out. I will actually filter this out. Okay, did you get it? Mm-hmm. So you can actually filter. You can filter. Let's say I want to filter this web app. Okay, but it's also sometimes because if you look at it, we actually doing it background, and it actually doing the query. So you see the window it says iManage.work. It actually try to log in, and you see it actually on the right side. It also tells you which actually the process is working. Okay, now let me I actually debug Outlook. I only want to actually show the Outlook, process. I don't want to actually see IW singleton. IW singleton is the common place for login. Okay, so I can actually do this. I can do this. Let's say iManage. So this is IW singleton. I don't want to use it, but I want to actually use Outlook. Okay, so use Outlook. So what happened is I will do this first. Let me do Outlook. Okay, let me do let's say the work panel. Okay, the work panel, that is the one replace our tree, replace the file side tree. Okay, so this one, the work panel have a dock and undock. If you go to the setting and we can dock it. Okay, so this is a dock mode. Now we actually go back to the fiddler, and you will see lots of calls. Okay, lots of calls from Outlook. Let me actually just show you. Okay, so let me actually just go to Outlook. Let me actually do a filing again. Do another file. So file. Okay, screen is small. Okay, so you see, this is Outlook, is that right? The Outlook, okay, wait a minute, the Outlook, and you can actually filter this out. Lots of time, I actually say process only, so I want actually this process. Now in that case, it will filter out only see the Outlook. Now, whenever you actually have a problem, then you can actually analyze it and use this one. You filter out some of the Outlook, say, because Outlook, they also can have some other, let's say, auto discovery, mobile, and others. So usually I will do this one, the filter. Okay, so I can actually do more filter. So you can actually see, hide this one, mobile, and now it's coming down, it's only this. So whenever I actually file, and you can actually see, it's making the calls, okay? Making this calls, and it says this is active calls, okay? So that is, of course, the result column. The result column, that is the HTTP return code. HTTP return code 0 is 200, which means it's okay, right? So which means it's a good one. Okay, now on the right side, what you want to do is whenever you want to actually really see what is actually going on, you want to actually look at each call, you want to actually look at the right side. If you want to actually say, sometimes you will see red. If it's red, let's say you have, if you want to get a folder, it is actually says not found. HTTP, it will give you 404, it's not found. Let's say when you actually log on to the server, it actually, sometimes how do you authorize it? Is actually we use what actually is called a token. We use the authorized token to send it, but token sometimes can be expired. it will show you the error message. It is a 4.1. 4.1 is unauthorized, which means the token expired. Sometimes you can actually, you will actually find out is like say 302. That is redirect. So I give you the link. It is actually, it's not good anymore. I give you a new link. It is so you can actually analyze this. Now if you want to actually go to the right side, if you analyze the one of HTTP protocol, and you will see on the right side there's a top window and a bottom window. Okay, so I actually double click on it. Okay, so you will actually see the top level window. So that is the top one. That is what we call the HTTP request. So it will say we have a verb, that is HTTP verb. It actually say get this. Okay, I want to get a folder. There's ID there. The ID, it is the database name and the folder ID, the integer. And do you see the cookie? That cookie is very important. Because we actually, like today, on Vela's machine, it actually is that I bring up the dialog, but it actually refreshing a lot. I use the fiddler to find out is the first call you have a token, the second one you don't have token. Every call need to have X authorized token. Now our HTTP is a HTTP protocol. But when you actually send and receive data, what we actually receive, that is the bottom one is response. Okay, so when we get, and we will get back from the from the server. Server always give you the JSON format. The data we pass is JSON. Did you see on the bottom? We actually see data. Now you can actually go to this is not XML. This is JSON. So when you actually do the HTTP request, we can actually pass in data from and to use the XML and the JSON. These days, is a JSON is more popular. So we standardize the JSON. So what happened is I actually say, give me the folder of this. It will actually give you the folder. Did you see that? It is the folder properties. They are all there. So this is the way you actually analyze, what is actually going on. And you can also look at the header. You look at the header, the cookie, the in state, and all this kind. You can actually just analyze them. Okay, analyze them. So this is the way. This is the most important one. So when you I strongly recommend you actually go in there and look at the, install the fiddler and decrypt. Okay, because our server right now is only support the socket layer, and it is 1.2. So it actually data they are all. So this one, the fiddler actually accepted the data and decrypted and used its own certificate and decrypted the things over there. And you have to go to decrypt. When you after decrypt, you can see all the data. It is invariable, the most important one when you actually debugger, not only for Office suite, also for White Rabbit. Okay, for the White Rabbit. Okay, but I actually already told you, HTTP. This one, it is only for what? This is only for HTTP protocol analyzer. Let's say I want to have a broader one. I want to actually see the other things. How do I do this? So I'm going to actually use, in that case, the Wireshark. It is actually invariable tool. Okay. So I'm going to actually show you the Wireshark. So. Okay, let me actually delete all this, because otherwise it will. So one thing is actually it's very very disappointing for Fiddler. Fiddler will not actually save the filter. So when you relaunch Fiddler, the filter will be gone. So you have to like apply the filter. A lot of people ask for this feature, but the filter will be not saved. Okay, now I'm going to now in my box, okay, we have a running couple of EXEs if you use the task manager. Okay, now noticeably, okay, I will later sessions I will demo the auto exec and update feature. And what happens is there are most important process there. The first thing is it's called the iManage Update Manager. So Update Manager, the Update Manager is this. So Update Manager is if you have a new build there, it will auto update you. Okay, I will talk later. Okay, in a later session. This is the Update Manager. Second one is called iManage State Exact. What is the State Exact? State Exact is maintain, certain process died, it will relaunch. Did you see? Okay. So did you see there's IWWCS? That is the process, is the client side WCS. Okay, we know the road. But this one, if you look at it, okay, look. I end it. Okay. It come back. Yeah. Why it come back? It's because did you see the iManage State Exact? It actually to relaunch it. So this one controls you. It controls you auto update. 173. I got notification. Do you want to add save 3? I have a new release. I have a new pre-beta, and you will get it. Notification. It says, do you want to install? So this one they actually do a great job. When you install, you will find out. I will show you the auto update. The feature. You just one click, everything install on you, and when it has a new. You know why? It's because we actually go into the cloud. The cloud, it is actually how do you actually update your software? We have to use this kind of metaphor, like an Office channel, like an Adobe. We have to use this one. Okay. Now this one we have another one. It's called the IW agent. What is IW agent doing? IW agent is doing is this. It actually is notify you. Did you see that? All these things, all these notifications, get error messages, conflicts, all these kind of things. What's new and errors and all these kind of things. It actually this one it is controls. It is controls. Okay. It is controls all the things there. Okay. Now we actually have next one called IW. Okay, I manage worksite. I name it because what happened is the first actually, I actually build a library for the HTTP. It's called the REST Layer API. A C# library. What happened is you have lots of a REST API. That's HTTP. But we wrote in a C#. In that case, we actually need the C# library. We can actually call our server. It says, get me this folder. But we want to actually build library. I built the library. I name it IW, like a REST API. So everybody actually started with IW. So most of the client is called IW singleton, IW WCS. Next one, it's called IW singleton. That is mostly, and I wrote a part of it, and mostly is Han wrote this one. Because think about it, we actually need a common login mechanism. Why do we need a common login mechanism is, let's say Outlook login, right? After Outlook login, you launch Word. Do you want to log in again? You don't want to log in. you want to actually share the same token. So because we make a REST API, we use the token to authorize to make the API calls. The IW singleton, it is doing this. This one is called IW agent background. The IW agent background, that is the ones, it's downloading the forms, you know, because we have downloading config files, download like the plugins. This one is a whole purpose. So these kind of things, it is actually, it's pretty important, and we have 5 different process. Okay, these are process when you have the installer, when you install, it actually automatically will run these files. You will actually see later on. Okay, now for me, it actually, in order to demo Wireshark very clearly, so I'm going to actually queue all this. Okay, I'm going to queue all this. So then you will see it. Okay, so now I'm going to. Okay, usually I will go queue the process tree. Okay, process tree, it will actually queue the process, child process, and parent process, if it is actually in the whole tree. So in that case, it is easy for me. I don't need to click 5 or 6, but it can. Okay, so you queue the process. You see, when I queue the process tree, instead of process, it will queue the whole thing. It will queue the 5 of them together. Okay, is a commit like a suicide. Okay, so okay now I'm going to actually show you the Wireshark. Okay, I already installed the Wireshark. Okay, all this I have like iManage share space space. I have all these kind of things, keep a copy just in case not available anymore. And the Fiddler and Wireshark, they are open source project. It is so good. I actually cannot believe these kind of things. They're so good. I cannot believe, and it's free. So okay. So when you actually start Shark, you will get if you have different network interfaces, it says which one you track. Sometimes you want to track Ethernet if it's connected. Sometimes you want to actually check Wi-Fi. At home, I actually want to use Fiddler. I use Wi-Fi because all the data through Wi-Fi. So for here, at this machine, so it is actually on my machine. It is actually Y connected. So it's going to the Ethernet, not going to the Wi-Fi. So I click on it. Now you will actually see so many network activities in there, right? Like you see UDP. There's a browser and everything. Go there. It is fascinating to watch. But the first thing, what I want to do is, I don't want actually so many things. Now you want to actually the same idea. You want to apply the filters. What are the filters? Okay, so for the thing, we actually use the IP Internet Protocol. We want the Internet Protocol. Did you see? We have source and destination. I want to actually only track iMobility, right? iMobility. So iMobility. So first thing is, let me see. So iMobility. Wait a minute. CMD. Okay. So I like this toolbar. I always put all the things toolbar. So whenever I actually go to either Nancy machines, tennis machines, Mohit machine, they always say, don't let Vincent touch, because Vincent will work his way, and everybody have to look like a desktop, like Vincent desktop. So they say, but I'm telling you, it is the most efficient way. Okay. So what happens is I do IP config. Okay. So what happens is I will do ping. Okay. So mobility. Okay. Dot iManage dot work. Now in our company, there's a subtle difference. If it is iManage.work, which means cloud, everybody can see. In the cloud, you can just see. If you have iManage.com, it's internal. So we have a subtle difference. These kind of things, you have to keep in mind and it help you. So iManage.work, it is actually, this is public IP. So we have 205.88, right? So now I want to actually see, I don't want to just see this whole thing. I want to have a filter. Did you actually see the filter? On the filter bar? On the filter bar. So I will say IP, okay, address, okay, address is equal to, I already put it in there, this filter. I say this one, okay? Now, you see the IP is filtered out. Okay, now let's actually just capture. I want to restart. Okay, I want to actually go. Because I already queued my IW singleton. I queued Outlook. There's nothing in there, right? But now I want to actually see underline, see, sometimes I actually cannot access my port. I see what is going on. Can I actually see what's going on? So I can actually do this. Okay, let me actually just test it out. Okay, test it out. What's going on? So let me actually just type something. Let's say ping. Okay, ping. IMO. Doesn't work because we know this is a cloud server. Okay, it's not WTest2. It is our internal server. What actually is doing? So what happened is when you actually ping, it actually basically send our source. This is my Vincent Wu's famous IP address. Remember it? 10.5.9.2. Okay? So my machine, it is this one. Now, if you look at it, we actually ping it, but it requires timeout. What's going on? It's because we actually send a TCP IP with the protocol of ICMP protocol. He didn't reply. Why he didn't reply? Because we actually have a cloud server. Cloud server on the internet, you should only expose, okay, the HTTP port and the HTTPS port. You should never actually open any other port. It could be suspect to the vulnerable to the other attack. So you see how our actually ping port is closed. It's closed, right? It's closed. But sometimes I want actually just to test the port. Now, if you actually look at the code, it's very interesting to actually study. This is the tool you study. How do you actually study the protocol analyzer? You have frame, have interface. You have Ethernet, the MAC address. Did you see the MAC address? On top of it, so we actually know the OSI model for the protocols. Then we have internet protocols. Okay, it's IP. We have a internet message protocol. So what happened is this one is the protocol. So what happened is we actually want to actually connect this server to that server. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. So that server, but that server we use the ping. Okay, we use the ping request. It actually says you give me the sequence number and you acknowledge it, but you don't acknowledge it. That's why we actually got. So is there any better way we can actually just test our port is open or not? Of course we have, right? Of course we have. Let me actually just check. Let me actually just check this one. Wait a minute. Where's my window? Okay. I want actually just to test the AD port is open or not. How do I do this? I use the No, I use the telnet, right? I use the telnet. Okay. Okay, so this time, let me actually just do 05.209. okay, .118.88. Now, when you telnet, you specify the port. Okay? Let's see if the port is open or not. If it's not open, the command will exit. Otherwise, it will have a screen. Okay? Did you see? This time we use the TCP to actually the telnet in. Did you see? It actually will connect this one. Okay? Did you see that? We actually send it to the server, but the server actually reply to it, and we actually send. So this one is a sync. Okay, sync. Then we acknowledge. Basically, you can actually just go to this kind of things forever. And I also okay. See? Okay, now I quit. Okay, now I quit. Now you can also test. That one is that one's 80 port. We actually sometimes it's not the TSL layer. Okay, so we can actually just say 88 port. Okay. See? You see? This one, it is actually the port, and okay. So now we actually know this port, it is actually TCP/IP port, right? So the TCP, if you Internet protocol, what is Internet protocol? Internet protocol is tell you one machine connect to other machine. So we have IP, and did you see the source IP? My source IP is 10.5.92. The destination IP is the iMobility.com. That is the iMobility.work. That is 205.88. But the TCP, it is actually the port, right? The port. When you actually, your machine connect to another machine, I not only connect to a machine, I also want to know which application you want to use. In that case, we actually use the transmit control protocol. The control protocol is to control the port number. So the source port, my port, is called ephemeral port. We actually randomly generate one because the server port, it is 88 port. That is the port is on the server. Okay, you can use this one to find out what is going on, and you can actually just analyze it. Sometimes you say, oh, you know, my server is not available. You can actually try this out, and you can actually see the port is open or not. Okay, so that is the thing. Now let's actually see the interesting stuff. Okay, so I actually go this one. I actually capture, restart. Okay, you say you can saving or you're not save. You know, usually I don't save. Okay, so I get a protocol, right? Now I want to actually show you how do I actually, let's say I have a problem with White Rabbit. Okay, connect to it. So now I'm going to actually show you. So go here. Okay. Here. iMobility. Okay. So what happens is there's a bug in our server. First time you log in, it's not working. Ryan cannot figure out why. Okay, in Fiddler. Second time you log in.
Extra security.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's actually go to the Fiddler. Okay, so okay, I'll go to the
Okay.
doing it. Wait a minute. Busy. Okay, now we are coming. We're actually coming. Okay, we're actually coming. Okay, so let me stop it. It's slow. So capture, stop. Okay, I stop. Okay, so let's analyze it. Okay. Okay. Did you actually see? Did you actually see? These top ones is actually we just did the telnet. Is that right? But this one is coming down. It is the real one. Okay, it's the real one. Now the real one is we actually use the TLS version 1.2. Okay. Now we can actually just take these are the things that actually is very interesting. The first call we actually, when you actually type about my IP that iMobility in my address bar, what is doing? What is doing is they actually send the first one is to this one is use the get the server. It says what is your protocol support, HTTP support. It says my server it is the TLS, okay, Transport Layer Security version 1.1. It says hello. Did you see the hello? So it's hello. Client say hello. So my Vincent's machine 10.592 it says hello. What is hello? Hello. If you look at the protocol, it's very interesting, and we can actually just see it. Okay. So we have transport protocol. This is the on this top of the layer, okay, on top of the layer, we have a secure layer, okay, protocol. Okay, it says hello. This is called handshake. So when you actually say, he will talk to this server. He says, hello, I want to actually talk to you, and the web server. He says, but I want to actually establish. What is establish? Okay, establish. It says hello. It actually is handshake. In the handshake, it's very interesting. Okay, it's a handshake protocol. Okay, in the handshake protocol, it generates some random number, and one thing is very interesting is it's called the secret suite. What is the suite is? So we actually, when you actually talk to the server, is use the TLS protocol, it actually will establish the encryption technology. So the first one is it will actually say the protocol. He said I actually support all this encryption protocol. Server, which one you pick? Okay, they will agree on one protocol. These protocols, if you actually pick one, so it will be, say, TLS protocol. This one is ecliptic curve, okay, Duffy-Hellman encryption. So this protocol, the first protocol is establish the secret key. So we have a secret key. So when you actually want to actually encrypt each other, so you need a secret key to encrypt. So this one is Duffy-Hellman. It actually is establish the protocol, which protocol to use to exchange the private key. After you actually agreed on the private key, the second one, usually it is the protocol to actually encrypt each other, which is actually algorithm. We actually, this is very famous, we use the RSA protocol. Okay? So Duffy-Hellman is using the protocol to actually just use the key. After that, they will actually exchange each other after. So client actually send us twice. Server will agree to it. You can actually go inside and explore yourself, and it's very interesting. So it actually say I agree this. You know which protocol you actually go. Wait a minute. Where is it? Okay, so protocol. So after that, they exchange a little bit of information. So it also sends a certificate. These protocols, it actually is fascinating to watch. I used to work in a company, with Han. So that's why I introduced Han to our company. We actually work in a next test. We used to as a network protocol analyzer. Now these are things free. We used to actually work for a company to actually make money. So this one is actually okay. So then it's through certificate. You see, exchange keys. Mm-hmm. Now after that, they are going to send the data. After send the data, you see, this protocol is become HTTP. So it's encrypted. You see, if you actually, it's a get. Let me actually just find out something protocol, a function. Let me actually just find out one function. So let's say actually this HTTP protocol. Okay, you see, it's de-encrypted. So if you look at this so that is why the TLS or SSL in the protocol is called application protocol. Is on top of the TCP protocol. On the TCP protocol, it encrypts the HTTP data. So it actually is this, and you got a layer, and layer. The SSL layer, it is TSL layer, just the same thing. So it will encrypt this. Okay, it will decode everything. Originally, it is encrypted. But usually, this one is not free. If you actually just install your Wireshark, you will actually see. It actually says encrypt data. It is not HTTP. You have to configure that. The configuration is very, it is very obscure. Okay. What you want to do is you want to do to control panel. Okay. Okay. So if you don't have to do this, you will not see HTTP protocol. Okay. You will see encrypt data. So the fiddler used proxy to actually decode them, but this one is needed to get the secret key to decrypt. This is the procedure you want to do. Okay, let me actually just check. Okay, wait a minute. This is okay. Control panel. Okay, control panel. I already did it, okay? Otherwise, you will not actually see the decrypted. Okay, wait a minute. Where's the control panel? It's very annoying. Okay, control panel here. Okay. Control panel and system. Advanced. You need to set an environment variable is called the SSL key log file. Okay, I set it. It's called SSL key log file. I will set it. Okay, if I set it, now let's actually go to temp. I set it into the temp. If you actually set this temp, it's hard to manipulate. Okay, wait a minute, I should use mouse. I forgot. Okay, so ctemp, sometimes, I usually will go this. I put the most useful one, drag to the quick access. So I just say quick access. Okay, so there's a file. Okay, key. If you look at the file, do you see? It has random numbers and private keys. Okay. It actually, the Wireshark use these private keys to actually decrypt the data. Now, it is actually fascinating to see, okay? Now, after you have this key, you have to link with them, okay? So I already did this. You have to go to Preferences, okay, Protocol. You see how many protocols they actually over there. They actually have so many protocols and the support, and there's all open source. Okay, so I will go to SSL. SSL. It says query master secret log file. This is actually tell what is the secret key, because you have to use the secret key to actually decrypt. After you get decrypt, you will actually see this HTTP protocol. Okay. Now this kind of things is actually it's very advanced. So you see sometimes the filter. You can actually filter lots of things. You can see, I want HTTP. You can actually see, and okay, did you see the filter bar? If you actually have something wrong, it will be red. If it's right, it will become green. It's very smart. It's a really good product. So I got HTTP. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. HTTP. Did you see? It will filter HTTP. You only see the HTTP protocol. So if you want to actually see, you know, it will give you like, you know, a TLS protocol, very powerful. If you actually go, you can actually see, I only want to actually show the response ones. I want to show this. So using this kind of a technique, and you can actually investigate most of the problems. Let's say if you have a problem, loading problem, with the cloud, I find out the REST API cloud, and you want to actually use, and actually the most powerful tool, that is these two tools. I used to have like, you know, other tools like, you know, active port and active ports, or, you know, a process monitor, you know, the network activities and all these kind of things. What I find out, this tool I actually used a couple of years ago when I was in London. You know, what is the company? You know, they have lots of problems. You know, we want to actually analyze what is going on. Network slow and all this, all that. You know, at that time we actually analyze all the like, you know, the RPC calls. You know, RPC, all this kind, because but in the case of our, you know, in the view of HTTP, you know, as a cloud service, and these tools is invariable. You know, will you actually got into any like the problems and invariable. Okay. So what time is it?
10 after 11.
Huh?
10 after 11.
10 after 11. Okay. I think I talk more than you expected, and you more than expected, and I will leave you and this one to like, you know, digest, and you can actually like, you know, install the software, and if you have any questions, you can actually to me. So, and what happened is I actually use these kind of things to actually figure out lots of things. Let's say, you know, when I actually implemented you know, a common name for our server, it says, what is going on Microsoft? What's Microsoft doing? They have some documents, but I actually look at it, what are they doing, you know, how they actually do it, and how do I actually do it. These kind of things, it actually is like a spy tool, like a reverse engineering, and to see what other people is doing. Or they actually connect to the DNS to find this out. So, you know, or they actually use the DNS to find out what is the discovery server. Otherwise, you know, if you actually log into the profile and the first time profile, you just type in the address and you find out what is going on. What is doing? How they actually figure out what is the discovery, you know, server? What is this? So I find that, these tools and find out like reverse engineering and to find out what is it doing, and I implement my way, but always have a cheaper way, is like fast way, not like, Microsoft, you have a very like rigorous, and this. But I actually do a thing like, the server name thing, and it works, like if you know how to actually use it, they are very powerful. They're very powerful.
There is one question for you.
Yes, okay.
So one question that came through a little earlier is
yes.
Why the client continuously tries to make login calls.
So what happened is that what happened is they actually, why the continuous making, it is actually on the server side, it actually is a need to actually there's a couple reasons. One is do we have like new config files? Because let's say right now we have an EML config files. These days we configure files change every day because everybody wants to access. I can actually talk about configurations later on. How do you, if the server config file change, you want to immediately apply all the actions to you. So we have a very advanced like a technique, if you actually, so let's say server side filing change to client side filing. We want immediately reflected in our account because these are the cloud configuration deployment. How do you actually know? So they actually like pinned it down. These things, like okay, you should ask the questions. Okay, you look at the like a fiddler, or you use the like use like a Wireshark. You will have lots of questions. Why you want to make this extra call? Why you want to actually do this extra call? Why you want to actually go to the local server? You will see all these kind of things. We actually will like review. Review all the background things. But this is only the first session. And we will like talk a little bit more, about the things.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions from today's session?
Yeah.
The file, the SSL key file that you told us.
Yes.
Probably you downloaded or get it from somewhere.
No. It is actually, if you actually, as soon as you actually in the variable key, it is actually already that is actually there's a called like a p-pact. The fiddler engine, the packed engine is a write to it.
Okay.
I don't know how they write to it, but I know it is actually because Wireshark is based on the a packet analyzer. That packet analyzer, I think if you set this environment variable, it will write to the key. When you connect to a server, what is the, when you actually connect the socket layer, the keys, it actually will get a packet. It says, what is your private key, and put it in there and write it to out. Then whenever it's a packet come in, it uses the keys to input. Now, there's a very interesting, in the Chromium, you can detect. If you use the same thing, okay, look at this. Okay, let me show you. Okay, let me close this. Okay. Okay, a minute. How to close this? So in IE. Okay. actually in IE, it actually will not decrypt.
Oh.
Because, you see, it will say data, but it's not decrypt. Okay? So the assume is TCP and frame, and it's a socket layer, but it actually have encrypted data.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because if you actually the key, okay, this is the limitation of of the Wireshark. If the private key exchange itself is encrypted, you cannot decode. Now, the server, our server is the same, but each browser it actually have a different remember the encryption suite. The encryption suite, it will actually usually it will say take the strongest encryption. If you have IE, it says even for the exchange keys, I want to encrypt.
It's the
strongest. In that case, the IE will not review the secret key because it is also encrypted. In that case, the Wireshark cannot decode the HTTP. I actually use the clone to demo it. The clone, it actually the exchange keys, it actually the private key you can capture. That's why it decoded the HTTP. But if you use IE or Edge, I tested. If you use the IE, or you cannot actually decrypt. Now, so which means that the rule is, but for the fiddler, it still can decrypt. Doesn't matter you actually use what actually the algorithm to do the key exchange. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Very interesting stuff, and you will actually use it, and you will, I think, it will help you a lot. Not only understand our product, overall how do you actually it's like is doing in doing the support, and you can actually solve some other problems, not only apply to, let's say, Outlook or EMM. Thank you very much. This is the first one, and we will see you.
Yeah, so the next one is next Thursday, early afternoon, Chicago time.
So next one, I will actually, as a preview, I will actually demo how do we do client-side filing and all these kinds of things and the features there. And I will use the Outlook Spy and MFC Mappy and to demo all these things.
Hey, Carl. Is the next one, I thought is it Monday?
Next session for Vincent is on Thursday.
Okay, so it's a different one on Monday.
Yeah. So there are 10-2 knowledge shares that are coming up, so watch for calendar invites. So there's one scheduled so far, and there are others that will likely come out today that will take place between next week and the week thereafter.
Yeah. So and everybody, if you have any requests or comments, just send email to me so I can actually review and make the session more more
customized.
More customized
right.
and interesting, and because I don't know what you guys want to hear. So this is what I actually I have in mind. But
sure.
You guys you could be lots of other things you want.
No, but it was great. Thank you so much.
And no problem. You are very welcome.
Thank you.
I'm a part of the support team, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah. Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you
very much.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Cheers. Adios.